All righty. No, it's fine. The time is now 7 o'clock. We'll start the Personnel Committee. It is January 24th, and there are 10 items on the agenda, so we'll just get right into it. So order number 1 is order number 22-100-860, communication from the mayor for the reappointment of Community Development Authority of Renee Picadero for the term to expire March 9th, 2024. So unfortunately, Renee cannot make it here, but I know that some of the personnel committees have met with her, and she's been on the CDA since 2015. I, as the chair, have no personal objections, so if the committee would like to have some discussion, if not, motion for her reappointment.
Motion to approve the reappointment of Renee Picardio.
I will second that. Is there any comment, questions, or concerns? If not, all in favor? It's 3-0. This has been approved. Okay, moving on to order number 2, order number 22-100-8763, communication from the mayor to appoint Joseph Delano to the Board of Registrar of Voters for a 3-year term to expire April 1st, 2024. Thank you.
How are you? Nice to see you.
On the mics. That'd be great.
Good evening.
How have you been?
Yeah, I gotta remember that, Mr. President.
How you been?
I'm well, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
How are you?
How's retirement from City Council? Treating you well?
Oh, wonderfully relaxing.
Monday nights are a breeze now, huh?
They are indeed. They are indeed.
So why the Board of Registrars?
Pardon me?
Why the committee? Why the board?
Well, the mayor asked me to do it, and I said I would.
Excellent. All righty. Well, it'll open up to questions.
Simple as that, and hopefully you don't need me too often. We don't have too many contested elections, and hopefully that doesn't come up.
Excellent. We're committed. Will it open up to questions from personnel? If not, then we'll do the whole council. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Joe, how's it going?
Well, Councilor, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Do you know what your responsibilities are going to be as a member of the Board of Registers of Voters?
In a general sense, yes.
Okay, for the benefit of the people watching, could you do a quick description of what you know?
Well, the main things are really where it comes into play. If there's a contested election, to oversee that, adjudicate, make sure that it's fair, and that things are done in the appropriate way. I guess in the bigger sense, making sure that the election site is run properly, lists are clean, those types of things. That's about the extent of my knowledge.
Okay. Do you consider voting to be a right or a privilege?
Well, it's both.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We're privileged to live somewhere where we can vote, but it's everyone's right.
Okay. Good answer. I like that. Thank you, sir. No further questions.
Are there any other questions from councilors that are present? If not, entertain a motion.
Motion to approve Joseph Day Delano to the Board of Registers of Voters for a 3-year term to expire on April Fool's Day 2024.
Any other discussion on the motion? If not, it's been seconded. All in favor? 3-0. Thank you, Mr. Delano.
Mr. Chairman.
You have a wonderful night. All right, item number 3, communication, order number 23-100-8784, communication from mayor with the appointment of Elizabeth Jolansky to the Board of Registrar of Voters for a 2-year term to expire April 1st. Good to see you.
Mr. Chairman, before you talk to her, can I just quickly ask a question? If you notice, the one we just approved for Joe Delano is a 3-year term expiring in 2024, yet she is a 2-year term expiring in 2025.
I think that's a typo.
Which one's the typo, the
Nope.
term or the year?
It's
Actually, that's a damn good question.
city clerk. You want to clarify?
I can answer that, Mr. Chairman. When the mayor sent down the appointments, Mr. Delano is replacing Registrar Cindy Zomar, and her term was up in 2021. So he's to continue so that they all fall in the right cycle, so that we have a registrar up every year. And then Mrs. Jolonsky is going to replace Registrar Evangelist, thank you. And her term is expired in 2022, so.
2025.
So we get a chance to see Joe a year from now?
No, I think he's 3 years. He's 2
No,
years.
it's 2024.
2020, oh, yes, a year from now.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry, I can't do math, that's why I'm the city clerk.
No, that's fine. It's a new year, so you lose track of that. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How
All
are you?
righty, sure. And we'll ask the same questions. So why the Board of Registrar of Voters?
Well, the mayor, I got a call from the mayor, and he asked me to do it, and I was pleased to accept. I worked at the clerk's office part-time
saw
for
that.
about 5 years, and had the privilege of working with Steve, and so I know the process,
Okay.
and I'm looking forward to overseeing whatever needs to be done.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How was your time at the city clerk's office?
I miss it terribly.
Okay. Wow. Well, okay. Because you got to work with Wilson, correct? Yeah, we thought so too.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we'll open up for any other questions. If not, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve Elizabeth Jolonsky for a 2-year term to expire on April 1st, 2025.
Is there any further discussion? If not, I will second it. And all in favor? It's approved 3-0.
Very good.
Easy, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty, moving right along to order number 22-18764, communication from the mayor with the reappointment of Samantha Kosla to the Library Board of Trustees for a 3-year term to expire April 2nd, 2024, and we'll also bring up order number 22-18764, communication for the mayor to reappoint Fred Haas to the Library Board of Trustees. I'm sorry,
Point of order,
Smith, I didn't
Mr. Chair.
ask how to pronounce your last name.
Kosla.
Perfect, thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Item number 4, you did not list that one. That's not going to be covered tonight?
Nina is not here tonight.
Okay, so we're going to skip that one
So we'll
tonight.
skip that one.
Okay.
Yep. I didn't have a chance to talk to her before the meeting.
Yeah,
so-
no, it's okay.
But, good evening. Thank you. All righty, so just want to tell us a little bit about yourselves and why to the reappointment of the Library Board of Trustees. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I've been a resident of Marlborough since 2012, and one of the first things I did when I moved here was get a library card.
Love it.
And so I've been involved in the library as a user since I moved here. And then I was interested in participating in volunteering for a board, and the mayor appointed me to the building committee initially. So I was involved in the very beginning, looking at what are we going to do and what were the possibilities for the library. And it's just a very exciting time to be involved in the library because we're scheduled to open, what's going to be a really glorious community space in just a few months. So I'm really committed to seeing this through and seeing what possibilities there are for the new building.
Excellent.
I would sort of second pretty much everything that Samantha said. I have been a resident for 15 years and was a regular patron for multiple years with my kids, and got to know the library staff very well prior to becoming a board member. And I think, like, I joined the board right as the new library program sort of was in full, like, had just sort of ramped up and into like full tilt, and we together we've been working towards that, and we just hired a new library director, which we're very excited about. To sort of
We're
start-
delighted to have found Sarah. Yeah.
to start and open the new building. So it's just to be able to continue to do that work.
Sure. Excellent. Any other questions? Councilor Doucette?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. For Fred, looking through the notes back in here, and there's one point, there's a reference to you taking the mayor through the upgrades that was done in the Worcester library system. What sort of technology upgrades do you see, or do you guys have plans yet of what the technology upgrades are going to be with the new library system? Or is that still in the works?
Well, I mean, I believe, I mean, there are definitely plans. The specific details, I think, are still in the process of being ironed out. But
Okay.
the library director, in part because she's brand new, although our previous library director had sort of mapped out the road for her.
Right.
But there will obviously be like changes up until like they know exactly where everything's going. And the building's a little bit more further along, but they've been working with the technology department pretty closely to establish and make sure that they have everything that they need.
There have
Okay.
also been some tweaks to the design of the library. The children's room had to be adjusted and moved, so, you know, it's,
Yeah,
that affects planning as well.
great. Okay, thank you.
What vision does the Library Board of Trustees see for the library in regards to this space, and how can you utilize that as a community focus? Is there any talks about that, or is it still too soon?
No, we have talked about that
Sure.
in our meetings, and, you know, there's gonna be more space
Right.
to begin with.
So
But
that's
it,
twice as large
yeah.
as the previous
Right.
footprint and,
Right,
and
right.
the available space.
But it's also looking at what kind of community programming, do we have capacity for now, which we didn't have before. And our new director has a lot of really great ideas about that. You know, she comes from a large library system that supports people through sort of all stages of library usage. You know, some libraries focus very much on children's needs, and others are less focused on adult needs. But that's not the system she comes from, and that's not the kind of system we want to be either.
Right.
And I would just add that I think the new building and the opening of that new building, it will be a real beacon for the city, and I think it very well could sort of kick off a whole sort of renaissance of the entire Main Street corridor.
Right. I'm a little jealous because I'm very honored to have this library here, and my other gig is there's so much buzz, you know, where people are super excited, you know, like when you have clients come in who are dyslexic and they're excited to come to the library, and you don't really hear a child with dyslexia who wants to go to the library. It sets a whole tone for the community, and I'm so honored that you guys are coming back and willing to take us on this incredible journey and utilize this magnificent space as something that the whole community can use. So I thank you for that. Question, Councilor Navin?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. No questions. You guys have really articulated kind of your passion for this project and for the services the library provides for the city. I couldn't agree more. You know, you show the citizens of a community what you really think about it by investing in things like this. And this is going to be a huge, huge benefit. I cannot wait to start using the library with my own family. And I just want to thank you for your service and your commitment to this. And have you guys been inside since, you know, with your hard hats? Have you guys seen the space yet? Have you gotten a quick peek?
I don't have that kind of clout.
No,
Inside yet.
you shouldn't have agreed to be reappointed until the mayor took you in. That's,
We did get to sign the last beam
We
we
did.
put in place, so that was pretty lovely.
yeah, well, it's an exciting time, and I really thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I'll enter. Councilor Landers.
Quickly, Mr. Chairman, you know, I've followed over the years, parking is always a problem. Can't go in the library, it's circle around, illegally park, or back. I think that's one thing you people have straightened out. Mayor taking certain properties, so that's gonna be a real plus.
It's going to be very valuable to have those properties for parking, and it's going to really improve accessibility, because what those properties allow us to do is have more spaces closer to the building that have wheelchair access, because that was one of the things that our previous library had. I think it had 2 spaces, was that all? So, yeah.
I can remember circling around, you know.
And there was changes made in the design of the building to accommodate more accessible entrance point, and that will be closer to many of the bulk
Yeah.
of the parking spaces, in fact.
And we are getting pretty granular in our discussions as far as discussing accessibility within the building itself, and want to make sure that, you know, the other library, you know, God rest its soul, had these dead end corridors, which if you're using a walker, if you're using any kind of mobility device, makes it harder to, you know, maneuver and turn around. So we really are paying attention closely to those sorts of details of the library too.
Well, I think everybody's looking forward to, early summer or late summer.
We hope so. We invite all the people that have been visiting other libraries and neighboring communities back.
Right.
Very good. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Doucette?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you for all this information. This is a great conversation. I'm not sure if you can answer this question, but is it, I know in other libraries, it's possible to basically, after hours, separate the book area, resource area from the meeting space. Is that part of the design for the new library?
To the best of my knowledge, that is the case. There has been a few sort of renegotiated spaces, which I can't tell you that I have all the details on, but there definitely is there was always the intent that there would be space that would be available for after-hours programming for the community that was completely separate, has separate entrances to
The resource area, yeah. Okay, thank you for that, appreciate it.
Anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the reappointment of Samantha Coleslaw and Fred Haas to the Library Board of Trustees for the respective terms.
I will second that. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. Alrighty, I do not see Jason here, so we'll skip, and I know that Richard's not gonna make it, so we'll move down to number 9, order number 23-18782, communication from the mayor with the appointment of Dylan LaForce to the planning board. Thank you for being here.
Sure.
So you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. LaForce, and then why the planning board?
Yeah, sure. I'm 30 years old. I live in Marlborough, grew up in Marlborough area, went to Marlborough Public Schools, and currently I'm an attorney in town. I'm a partner with attorney Greg Matrakis. He's had an office in town, him and his father, for many years. So, I just thought it was good to be able to spend my time. Hopefully I'm going to be in Marlborough for, the foreseeable future, and be good to do something for the community. And the planning board, I think it's kind of, it's a good area to be a part of, and so, those are my initial thoughts, and yeah, that's what I got.
Excellent. Councilor Navin?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your interest in serving the community. I know we're always looking for good members to join these boards. Just curious about what kind of law you practice, and if you have, some experience in zoning and building and planning purposes and things that, the board would be undertaking.
So we do primarily real estate and estate planning. Zoning, I would say, is not my strong suit, but there's plenty of materials to, catch up on it. So it's always something that, if I can learn, it'll, there's not too many attorneys in the area that do zoning, so
Yeah.
it's always open as a possibility.
Any other questions?
No.
If not, I'll entertain. Councilor Landers?
Just want to let you know your sign looks good now.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I'll entertain a motion if there's nothing else.
Motion to approve Dylan LaForce to the planning board?
I will second that. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Approved 3-0. Thank you.
Thanks.
Alrighty. The last item, certainly not least, is the order number 22-18756, communication from the mayor with the appointment of John Harmon as the Human Resource Director for the term to expire in 3 years from the date of confirmation.
Good evening.
How are you, Mr. Harmon?
Doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So if you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with human resources?
I'm John Harmon. I have 11 years of experience in human resources, mostly working for municipalities. I'm very grateful to be here. The Marlborough community is incredible, and I'm sure as you've got to work with many of the employees who work for the city of Marlborough, you see that we have a lot of talent in our employees here. So I'm very grateful to be here.
Happy to have you. We'll open it up for questions for personnel. Counselor Doucette?
Thank you very much. You definitely have the credentials for the HR director. You have it both in the school district and also in general municipality. What do you see as the biggest issues facing HR from municipalities right now?
The general HR issue that is across the nation is demographics of population. When we look at the working population in America, the largest working population is aged 58, the next largest is 59, next largest is 60, and so forth until you hit about 64 before I jump down to the age of 57. This demographic shift is going to be very exciting to deal with and to work to find efficiencies so employees are able to accomplish all the duties that are necessary to provide the services for Marlborough and the city.
Okay.
When was your start date?
December 5th.
Okay. Oh, so we've been about a month.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best or the most challenging or areas of focus that you want to work on over the next year or two?
Currently, I've had a chance to meet with, I believe, all the directors, so I'm still in the phase of making sure that I have their to-do list in mind before I can prioritize.
Sure.
So that's really my answer at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Councilor Navin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just curious, this is certainly, as has already been outlined, it's a challenging area of work to enter into. I'm just curious what drove you here? It's clearly you spent a lot of time, in the HR field. Just like to know a little bit more about yourself and kind of.
So how I got into HR
Yeah.
was a little bit of serendipity. When I got out of law school, I opened a law practice in Central Square in Cambridge. And so I operated there for 3 years. At the time, I had to make a little more, my rent was high,
Yep.
my student loans are due. So the opportunity proposed itself to go work in Baltimore to do Florida real estate law. And I'm from Massachusetts, Central Mass. So that, they flew me down, I got a job offer, but I didn't really want to go. And I found that somebody reached out to me from the city of Leominster saying that they had a job opening for human resources. And once I had that spark of interest, I dove right in, got myself up to speed quickly, got hired, had 5 great years there. I got poached by Beverly for the school system on the North Shore. So it's just been exciting because I'm able to help people and I'm able to see the results of helping people. When you do contract negotiations, when you're able to have conversations about how things really work with people,
Yeah.
it allows for a change of perception a little sometimes, which the goal is for everybody to get the best benefit for working with me. When we have people who come in for FMLA, being able to help them with that type of stuff is very rewarding.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that answer, and I think you hit the nail on the head. We are at a crossroads kind of across the public sector and across the private sector of an aging workforce and one that's going to need to be replaced. And, regenerative recruitment's incredibly important. The mayor told us last night how much he's been, on a hiring spree to bring in new people to the city, which is great. And, we know that if we're bringing in people, we're also losing people. And, that it's incredibly important to, be out there and recruiting the best. And, I wish you a lot of luck in that. And I hope that, as you do this, we focus especially on the fact that, you're right, the workforce is changing and it is more diverse. And, the fact that the city can create a more diverse and equitable and inclusive workplace would be, a great step in the right direction. So I wish you a lot of luck in that endeavor.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Councilor Landers?
Unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, I don't have any questions. I think these are all good candidates. Like John, I think we're very fortunate to have someone with your human resource background, your law background.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the appointment of John Harmon as HR Director for the City of Marlborough.
I will second that. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? It's 3-0. Approved. Thank you very much. best of luck to you. And the pews are empty, so that concludes personnel. I will entertain.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Councilor Nader.
Second.
And it's been seconded. All in favor? We adjourn at 7:25. Thank you.